Hello friends, this is RedUnicorn and today I'm ranking all the traits you can get in Rimworld. Mind you, this is only for vanilla, so I'm not covering any traits added by mods. I have quite a little experience in Rimworld. I've played quite a few runs, so for myself I know exactly what I am looking for when I choose my starting pawns and what I don't want. I'm going to put the traits in 5 categories. Like, 1 is great, I'd actually pick a pawn for this trait if the stats are halfway decent. Nice to have as well, it's nice to have. Nothing more to say about that. Okay, I guess it's like, yeah, we can work with that. That's fine, it's neither here nor there. They won't harm the colony, but they also won't be really helpful traits, so... They'd better be good means that, yeah, I'll pick this, but only if they compensate in some area, if they have really great skills or a skill set that I really need. And I'd rather randomize. You have to know for that I don't like randomizing. I like to play with the 8 pawns that you get in the beginning. I like to have my gaps, if there are some, and try to find ways to work around this, but if I say that I'd rather randomize this pawn for that trait, yeah, this trait really sucks. Mind you, I am basing this evaluation on starting colonists. If later in the game I find myself lacking a certain skill that I really need, I might even pick somebody who has a trait that I rank in one of the bad categories. The source for this trait is the Rimworld wiki. Feel free to look it up if you're interested in more detailed information. Yeah, let's get started, I guess. The wiki ranks the first traits under the topic lifestyle, and I'm just gonna start at the top and work myself down from there. So a night owl is a pawn that hates being up during the day and prefers to sleep there and likes to work at night. You can work around this, you can make a schedule for them that has them up at the right times. They even get happy if they're up in the night. They do get a mood debuff when they're up during the day, so it's like, yeah, it's okay. It's not bad, it's not good, it's, yeah. Undergrounder, this is somebody who gets a mood debuff if they are outside, so it's like, meh. If you have a mountain base, for example, this is actually a great trait, but other than that, I'd rank them like in between those two. If I have to choose, I'm going to put them here because you can keep them inside. If you have an undergrounder who is supposed to be your planter, well, that maybe you should rethink this choice. But if they're your crafter, they will be inside a lot anyway, so that doesn't matter that much. A nudist is in my starting pawns. No. I don't know. I don't care for that. They do not want to wear clothes, and I mean, we are living in Rimworld, like, people are going to get attacked, and if you don't wear armor or anything, you're going to lose limbs or your life. So no thank you, I do not want to start with a nudist. A masochist, on the other hand, yeah, they are good. If they're in pain, they're happy, so nothing bad about that. I mean, I'm not specifically looking for masochists, so I'm not putting them in the great parts, but yeah, they're okay, they're fine. Now, body modder is somebody who likes artificial parts. If you have somebody in the beginning and they do not have artificial parts, they will have a constant mood debuff. But yeah, you can. It's not that high. So that's okay. Later they can be quite good if you start with bionics. So I'm going to put them in okay, I guess. Yeah, but if you have a transhumanist playthrough, they're actually great to have, because artificial body parts like bionics make them happy. Body purist, on the other hand, yeah, that better be good, because the problem with body purists is, first of all, what do you do if they get their leg shot off? They just limp around on one leg for the rest of their lives? Like, no, that's not efficient. Second, they also do not like people with artificial parts, so it also has a social component that is playing in there. So if there's a body purist, well, he better have really good skills or something I really need. for me to overlook that. The same goes for Gourmand. Gourmands often are great cooks, but they once in a while they do have mental breaks and they just go on a food binge, which means they eat a lot. And especially if you're in the beginning and you don't have a lot of food, that can cripple you. That might even kill you. They generally have higher food consumptions than other pawns. So yeah, if I pick a Gourmand, he better have really good stats. Otherwise, I'm not bothered. Next we have the living space category, which basically means like what they want about their bedrooms and their surroundings. If you see an Ascetic, yeah, pick them. I mean, if they have decent skills or at least some passions for something and they're not good at it yet, pick them. They are great. They don't care if they have an ugly bed. Well, they actually do care if they have an ugly bedroom because they want one. If they get a decent bedroom or a better, well, I think it has to be slightly impressive or better, they get a debuff actually. So if they get bad surroundings, they are happy about it. What I really like about the aesthetics is if you want to trade with the Empire, if you want to have somebody move up the ranks for them, an Ascetic will never want a good bedroom or noble clothing. He'll be happy just like he is. So if you have an Ascetic who's good with social, that's like I tend to always pick those. They're great. Greedy is like, I'm ranking them between okay, I guess, and they better be good. I'm putting them here for now because they do want impressive bedrooms, and you will not be able to provide that in the beginning. So right when you start, they have a worse mood than the others. But later on, you can make them an impressive bedroom. Slightly impressive is enough to keep them satisfied. So yeah, that's okay. You can work around that. But in the beginning, it sucks. That's why I put them in this category. Next, we have a jealous trait, and that's something else. Jealous people want to have the best bedroom, especially if you go for if you want to have nobles later to trade with the Empire, and those have specific requirements. A jealous person will always want a better bedroom than them. No, I don't pick jealous people. It's like, they are so hard to satisfy. The mood debuff is always there. And if you have two jealous people, well, then you're just screwed. Because you have to make sure that they have exactly the same impressiveness in their bedrooms. And, well, guess what happens if one gets a little dirt in their bedroom or something? Yeah, that just sucks. Pyromaniacs, they are going to break down from time to time and go on a fire starting spree, and there's nothing you can do about that. So yeah, I'm torn between they better be good and I'd rather randomize, but yeah, that better be good. If you have a really good pawn with really great stats or a fantastic fighter and you really need somebody who's able to fight, you can work around a pyromaniac. You can have somebody who will run after him and put out the fires he starts immediately. So yeah, you can work around that, but it's a lot of micromanagement, so I'd rather not if I don't have to. Next, we have the skill set listed under social. We have Bloodlust, which basically means that they like hurting people, they like seeing people hurt, they are happy if somebody dies, they get a mood buff, and if they kill somebody, they get an even greater mood buff. They do not mind wearing tainted clothes, which is great. I mean, you can put on the best armor that somebody you just killed was wearing, and he doesn't mind. The only bad thing, the only downside to Bloodlust is that they are 4 times more likely to start social fights, but yeah. I like myself somebody who has Bloodlust. I put them under great. Next, we have the Cannibal people. I think that is self-explanatory. They like eating human flesh. They get happy from it. They do not get unhappy if you don't eat human flesh. So they're like, yeah, I don't mind. Then we also have the Psychopath. Psychopaths are the ones they don't mind seeing dead bodies, although that does not include rotten dead bodies, but they don't mind seeing dead bodies. They're okay with organ harvesting, butchering humans, and everything else. But they do not have any mood boosts from social interactions, so yeah, I don't mind. I put them in nice to have. They're between nice to have and okay, I guess, because I always use those to clean up the bodies after a fight because they don't mind. So yeah, that's if you have a psychopath, that's something you can work with. Next we have the combat traits. This one is the Nimble. The Nimble is nice, really fun. They are better in close combat, like in melee combat. They have a higher dodge chance than other pawns, and they also have a lower likelihood to trigger traps, which I guess for defending your base is not that important, but yeah, that's okay. That's nice. Brawler, they are good in melee combat, they are bad in ranged combat. Well, actually, they get a mood debuff if you give them a ranged weapon. Yeah, I put them here because you can have good melee fighters who are not brawlers, who you can equip with a ranged weapon if needs be. So yeah, they're okay, but nothing I'm looking out for. Tough, on the other hand, if I see a tough pawn, right, tough is... they are a lot harder to take down. They can take a lot more hits than a regular pawn, especially for melee combat. If you have somebody who's tough, that's a fantastic trait to have. They can take 50% more damage than normal pawns. Wimp is the opposite, actually. They stub their toe and then they fall down on the floor crying and you have to pick them up. So no, if I start out, if I have only 3 colonists, no wimps. No, that's a no for me. I've played with wimps before and somehow they always end up falling down in the middle of a fight, and then you're torn between, well, do I throw a grenade at the max now with him lying there, or don't I? And yeah, no, I don't care for wimps. You have 3 people... and even if he's capable of fighting, he gets 1 shot and he's down, he's out of the fight. So no, that's a no for me. Next we have traits affecting skills. Too Smart. What Too Smart does is they have a plus 75% learning factor. It's nearly as if they have a minor passion for everything. Nearly. Not quite the same, but close. They do have a higher mental break threshold. It takes less to cause a mental break for them than it would for other pawns. But still, yeah, I think I like this trait. I go for it if I see it. You can work around keeping them happy so they don't break down, and they're a good filler for skills that you're still lacking in your starting team. Fast Learner is even better than Too Smart. Fast Learner that's fantastic. It has the same learning speed as Too Smart, like plus 75%, but without the breakdown chance. So yeah, that's great. If you see a fast learner, if they don't have any really bad stuff going for them, I always pick them. A slow learner has a global learning speed of minus 75%, so that's a no for me. No. They have to be... No, even if they're really good at something and they have a double passion, and that's still, they'd have to be good at their skills right from the beginning for me to make this work, because they won't learn fast, and that's really, no, I don't pick those. Quick Sleeper managed to get by with less sleep than other pawns. A lot of people like them. I am like, they mess up my schedule, so I'm not that happy with a Pig Sleeper, but it's also no reason not to pick a character, so yeah, you can work with it, so they're okay, I guess. Great Memory means that they lose their skills a lot slower than regular pawns. What I mean by this is that if you don't use a skill, it decays. Their skill points are going down, and a great memory means that it doesn't decay as quickly as for regular pawns. So yeah, that's nice to have. It's not something I'm looking specifically out for and I'm searching for, but if I have a pawn with a great memory, I'm happy with that. Tortured Artist is tricky. They have a -8 mood debuff permanently, but if they break down, they have a 50% chance to get an inspired creativity afterwards. So the next thing, like if they're your artist, the next thing they make will be better than normal. Still, I'm really not a fan of mental breaks. They can really mess you up. So some people pick them specifically to break them on purpose to get those inspirations. For me, that's a little bit too much micromanagement. So if I pick a tortured artist, they'd better be good. Like, yeah. And they'd better be good at art too. Next we have relationships. We have kind. Kind is really nice to have. Like they say kind words to somebody else and the other person gets a +5 mood bonus. That's nice. They will never insult other people and they also don't care how anybody else looks. So yeah, that's nice to have. And we have the abrasive, annoying voice, creepy breathing misandrist, misogynist. I will all put them in the same category there. For me, they better be really good. Because abrasive, misandrist, and misogynist tend to insult people, and then your people get unhappy, and then they start having mental breaks. Annoying voice and creepy breathing means that those pawns are not liked as well by the others. They have a difficult standing socially, so they're worse at forming relationships. I try to avoid those if I can, but if I have a pawn who has really good skills, yeah, I might pick any of those 5. But if I don't have to, I'd rather not. Asexual, gay, and bisexual, I put them all in this category. I don't mind either way. I mean, I've played like 1,300 hours of Rimworld by now, and I never had a same-sex couple forming naturally ever in my playthroughs. Because those traits are rare, so you have to keep in mind that any of those will probably never be in a relationship. But that's okay. So yeah, I can work with that. Drugs. Yeah. I will also lump those 3 together. And for me, they are here. Never ever will I pick any of those pawns. Chemical fascination is the stronger version of chemical interest. They crave drugs, they want drugs, and if they don't get drugs, they are unhappy. Chemical fascination means that the mood debuffs are worse than for chemical interest. No, drugs mess your people up. They take all sorts of crap if you're not careful, and then they get addicted, and yeah, no, that's a no. I just don't want to deal with that kind of shit. No. Teetotaler is, well, they don't like drugs. They're the opposite. I don't like those either because I do use some drugs on my terms, not on the colonist terms, to keep people happy. And they not only do they get a huge mood debuff from taking drugs, they also don't like anybody else who took drugs. So, nope, that's a no from me. Next we have the traits to do with industriousness. Industrious, yeah, that's great. I love those. They have a global work speed of +35%, which means they are faster at everything they do than normal pawns. Hard worker is the minor version of Industrious. Still love that very much. They have a global work speed of +20%, which is still fantastic. Especially in the beginning when you start out, having a worker who can manage a lot more in the little time you have, that's like really great. Then we have the opposite of those, lazy and slothful. Well, guess where they are going? On the opposite end of the ranking scale. So no. Lazy is a work speed of -20%, slothful of -35%. They are slow as hell, and no thank you, I don't want that. I don't want that in my pawns. Not even if they're really good. No. Next we have speed. Jogger and fast walker, I think I put them in the same category. They are nice to have. They walk faster if you need somebody who's a little bit quicker in combat, or who needs to trigger a mech cluster to wake up or something like that. Pick a jogger or a fast walker and they are more likely to get away than a regular pawn. Slowpoke is slower than the others. Yeah, that better be good, because sometimes that really sucks, especially if you're fighting. And this also means that they get from point A to point B a lot slower than others, so, well, hauling might not be the best choice for them either, so, no, that better be good. Mood. The Sanguine has a permanent mood bonus of plus 12, so yeah, that's great to have, that's fantastic. The Optimist still has a permanent mood boost of plus 6, so yeah, if I find them, that's nice, that's good, I can work with that. Both of those are less likely to have mental breaks, and especially in the beginning, a mental break can really cripple you. I probably said that before. Next is the Pessimist, has a minus 6 permanent mood boost, so yeah, that better be really good for me to pick them. And the Depressive has a minus 12 permanent mood debuff, so I'd put them somewhere in between here, but if I have to choose, I'm going to put them here. Do not take a depressive person if at all possible. They will break in the beginning for sure, because there's a lot of other things they are going to be unhappy about. Next we have Nerves. Iron Will means they have a plus 18% mental break threshold. If people are below their mental break threshold, they are likely to get mental breaks, and those mental breaks can range from they're going to hide in the room to I'm going to kill the next person I see. So mental breaks can really cripple your colony. Iron-willed, I like those. I put them here in the grade. They are fantastic to have. They hardly ever have a breakdown. They can be the backbone of your colony. Steadfast still has a minus 9% mental break threshold. They are also great. They're nice to have. I'm not looking out for them specifically, but if I have a pawn who is steadfast, I'm happy about that. Nervous and volatile fall in the other direction. For a nervous pawn, they'd better be good, because they have a mental break threshold of plus 8%, which means they break faster. And volatile, yeah, no. They have a mental break threshold of plus 15%, so if you start out, try to avoid those. Although I have to say that later in the game, of those I sorted in here so far, if some of these have a skill you really need, Depressive and Volatile are kinda okay for me. I mean, if I really have to. The others still no. Neurotic has the same mental break threshold as a nervous person, but you get something for it. They have a global work speed of plus 20%. So yeah, that's for me, that's a good compensation. I'm okay. I will deal with this. Very Neurotic is the same mental break threshold as Volatile. Nearly, it's 14%. But also they have a global work speed of plus 40%. So yeah, I'm torn between okay, I guess, and they better be good. If I have to choose, I'm putting them here. If I have a good pawn, I will pick a very neurotic person. In the shooting area, we have the careful shooter, who takes longer to aim, but also has better aim, and the trigger happy, who, well, is the other way around, who takes shorter time to aim, but his aim will be off more often than not. Those I will actually not put in the same category. Because I like one better than the other. If I have one, not more, one trigger happy pawn, that's okay for me. Because what you can do with those is, for example, if you are dealing with mechs, you can give them EMP grenades and they will throw them faster, and the aim is not that important for EMP grenades. So yeah, that's okay. A careful shooter, on the other hand, I don't like this trait personally. I will put them on they better be good. If I have put good pawn, I will take them, but aiming time sometimes can mean the difference between being alive and being dead in the end of the fight. So no, yeah, I pick them if they're a good pawn. So now to the end of the list. Beauty. Beauty can be fickle. The problem I have with having beautiful pawns that everybody always makes advances to them, get rebuffed, and in the end everybody's unhappy. So yeah, beautiful and pretty bows, they're okay, I guess. I don't look out for them. They're neither here nor there. Ugly people have a minus in beauty, so everybody likes them a little less, but that's okay, I guess. I don't mind either way. And staggeringly ugly, as you might probably be able to tell, is more ugly than ugly. So they're still okay. I don't mind any of those four. It's like, yeah, fine. Psychic sensitivity. This is an interesting thing, because if you have a normal playthrough and you do not care about psychas, like making your people great wizards, you don't care one way or the other. On the other hand, if you do plan on making wizards out of your people, you are specifically looking for those traits. Yes, they will break down faster if there's a psychic drone or something, but they make fantastic psychcasters. So, like, if I want to play a playthrough relying heavily on psychats, I would put them here. Even if I don't, they're still nice to have. Yeah, if you're looking for a psychcaster, look for those two. They make fantastic psychcasters because they can cast more spells than other people, and well, yeah, that's what you really want in a pawn, isn't it? Psychically dull or deaf, I don't care about either way. This only means that they are not affected by psychic drones, or this one, the deaf one, is not affected, this dull one is affected less. You can't really make them psychcasters, but you will have other people for that. So yeah, they're like neither here nor there. Immunity. Super immune means they get sick less than others, and they also recover better if they get sick. So yeah, this is nice to have. And now comes something that many people might not agree with, but I hate sickly. I hate this trait. I do not pick it. This means that, I had a playthrough that I lost because I was just starting out, and that sickly pawn got malaria and died, so I was left with two pawns. One had a mental break because that sickly person died. We got attacked and we were done. So, no, thank you, sickly people. In your starting colonist, I would highly recommend you do not pick those. They get, especially if you start on a jungle title or something, they get sick a lot more than other pawns. And not only is it that they can't do their work, other people have to care for them, tend them, and can do less work themselves. So no, I will not pick sickly pawns in my starting teams. So this is my ranking of traits for starting colonists. If you have different opinions, feel free to comment down below. I hope you like what you saw, and I hope I could help you to make the perfect starting group for yourself. I'd be really happy if you left a thumbs up or a comment down below, and if you're interested in more of my Rimworld content, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and bye!